Hello and welcome back to another edition of Eternal Evolution. This is Akbar the Buff Master, and today we are looking at Exotic Expedition. We are on a new cycle, a cycle that is driving people mad because it's crazy. Uh, if you too have been driven crazy, well, welcome to the club. What are we looking at today? We're not looking at Exotic Expedition in total. We're not doing the Akbar versus Will, not just yet. By the way, I did win the first round though. I don't know if that's going to continue. But what are we looking at today? Today we are looking at Anpu and Turbine. We want to look at how to keep Mr. Anpu alive on Turbine stage number 3, particularly weeks 10, 11, and above. Okay, I'm just getting this video out to you. I've only done 10 so far on this round. I only made it to 11 last round. I have a lot of problems with those vanguards, but we'll see what I'm able to do as time goes by. Okay, so let's get into the video. There are a lot of important things that we need to know in order to keep our heroes alive versus this turbine. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to discuss is the skills of the turbine creature himself. Unfortunately, I cannot look at it right now because I've already beaten it and it doesn't let us go in and look at the skills, as annoying as that is. And our Turbine isn't up on our guild hunt either, so the skills are the same. However, a couple of important skills that we want to be aware of. Obviously, the nuke where he does 3 shots, choo, 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 and if someone is just obliterated, and that is our prime concern, right? That is what usually kills Anpu. Um, what do we need to know about it? He's going to attack the person that is doing the most damage to him, or as it says, the most damage to him recently. The reason why this part is important is we don't want Anpu to be our main DPS. And here comes Jaxity. Jaxity, with this build, keeps ahead of my Anpu. My Anpu is now Awakened 3. Now, for me, he just outright beats Anpu, right? If you have an Awakened 5 or higher Anpu, you're probably going to have to turn off his ultimate in order to make sure that Jaxity can stay ahead of him. But all the same, Jaxity is a great option here. However, to get max damage out of Jaxity and to keep Jaxity alive, there are some things that we're going to need to discuss. But first, I did this in both hit points in DR. I find that it's better just to leave him in HP boots, and the reason is that's going to give him more damage. You want to kill the turbine as fast as possible, and the reason why is his passive skill. The turbine's passive skill is that the longer that the battle goes on, he increases his attack every 10 seconds. So the first 50 seconds, no, the first 50 seconds of the fight is like free, and then but after that, every 10 seconds he increases his attack. And if so the fight goes on, you're just going to get obliterated. Jaxity, no one is going to respond. And that explosion, that triple nuke late in the fight. Okay, that's just rule number 1. He needs to die as quickly as possible. And the second thing that we want to look at, as far as, well, not look at because we can't see it, but think about when it comes to Turbine, is his frontal attacks. He has a frontal attack where he hits everything in a straight line. So you want to look at the way that it is positioned. Okay, this is important when it comes to positioning where you place your summoned creatures. And the other part that we want to think about is his fan, where he's going to kill all the non-big summons, right? Anything that's not a Dorgon or the bear or something like this is going to die from that fan. So you also do not want to throw out summons just before he does that ability, because they're just going to die instantly before they have a chance to do any damage. Okay, those are the skills as far as the turbine. Now let's look at another important factor. Okay, so now the next part of the equation that we're going to look at is this prototype ruler's ring and the importance that this plays into survivability. I need my old man glasses for this one. Now it says, of course, this is at level 60. It is important that you have this as evolved as possible. It says 40% of damage received by summoners is distributed evenly to summons. When a summons dies, then the user is healed. So why is this important? This is important for a couple of different reasons. One, you need to make sure that Jaxity always has summons on the field when the triple bomb goes off. One, that allows 40% of that damage to be um, delegated to his summons. And the second part of that, like I said, is that when one of those die, then he will get a slight heal. This is key for surviving those bombs. Now you can supplement that or complement this also with a timely heal by Mazurani or a shield from Miranda. But in any case, if you do not have summoners on the field, he will absolutely get blown up, and this is why it's important to take into consideration the rotation in the skills of the Turbine boss. Okay, so keep this in mind. Make sure that you always have summoners on the field. This is also one of the reasons why it's difficult to keep Anpu alive, right? Not only is he attack based, he has much less hit points, but also the other factor with any of those heroes is they have less summons. So if something happens and one of those dies, there's no opportunity to transfer that 40% damage over to a summon because they have no summons left. Okay, so keep this in mind. So we have Turbine skills, we have this prototype, we have our Jaxity build going heavy HP, not only for damage, but also it just helps with survivability. Now let's get into the action and see what we need to do to stay alive. Okay, so here we are in week 10. The same principles will apply to week 11 though. We're going to put Jaxity on auto for the entire fight. Daniel we're putting on auto at the very beginning just to get his ultimate off right away. For some reason, the Daniel usually delays his ultimate in the beginning of the fight. And remember, we want to kill this boss before he starts ramping up his attack. So that's why we put Daniel on manual at the beginning to throw out his bear as soon as possible. If you during this video, I had some footage. I, I, I erased it. I was cleaning out the storage on my computer to help it out. And anyway, I had some footage with Mazurani to show you the timing of heals if you went with the Mazurani or Miranda over Purin. But anyhow, we will discuss the timing of when you need to heal exactly, just in case. Okay, so let's get into the fight. Again, we want Daniel and Jackson to get off as soon as possible. After you throw Daniel's first bear out there, you can put him on auto, or you can keep him and everyone on manual for that matter if you want to, if you need to make sure their ultimates are firing as soon as possible. Now, positioning. The bear is on the left here, so I'm putting Jaxie's summons off to the right. This is taking into consideration that frontal attack, right? We don't want him to wipe out all the all the summons at one time. He has to choose which ones he is going to attack. If he attacks the bear, Jaxie's summons are safe. If he goes after the Jaxie summons, then the bear is safe, and so forth. Okay, this is the flame. You see how that flame just completely destroyed everything. So you want to make sure you never throw out Jaxie's summons when he is going to be doing that flame. That's going to do two things. One, it's going to kill off his summons before they have a chance to do damage, and it's also just going to amp up Anpu all the more, which is not what you want. Okay, so we see he's going towards the right. That's why I put his summons off to the left. So just pay attention to summon, or the position rather. All these summons dies, but the ones on the left lived a little bit longer. Okay, so positioning. Pay attention to where that attack is faced. So you see this part of the board is about to get cleared out. But so we put summons over here, and we're able to finish him off before the next attack here with his damage amped up. Okay, so that's with Purin, and that's the positioning part of it. Now let's look at the timing part of it. If you have a healer like a Maserani, or if you're going to try to use Miranda. I had more success with Maserani myself. Okay, so now we're looking at this from the standpoint of healing. Okay, when it comes to healing, we'll look at Maserani. Imagine that Maserani is in here. There are some key moments that you want to heal and some moments that you do not. At the beginning of the fight, you want to turn off his ultimate. Okay, you want to control his ultimate. During this whole first part, he should never do his ultimate for two reasons. Let's pause this for a second. Let's pause this for a second. Actually, we're going to rewind this here, just here. You don't want Maserati to just be firing his ult. One, because you're not going to have the heal when it's most needed. And secondly, his common skills not only heals a little bit, but also provides extra attack. So you want that common skill to fire as often as possible, and it is not refreshed by his ultimate. So if he does his ultimate, that's less time that he's doing his common skill. So common skill, you want that to go as quickly as possible. That's going to keep those frequent heals, and more importantly, keep up the attack. Now, I guess that could work against you if your Anpu is super powerful and you're having trouble keeping Jaxi ahead even with this build. So I guess if that is the case, then you don't want that common skill, but in anyway, you need to control when the heal goes off. So when do you need to heal? You see that this guy fires 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. Well, the heal needs to go off like 0.25 seconds after the third boom. You can do it possibly right at the same time. Okay, so about right at the boom or just after. So if we look at this, it would be something like you're looking at the cannon. He goes into position and he goes boop 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 hill. As soon as he hits that 3, you do the hill. The hill has a slight delay in the animation, so right at the time where he gets hit the first time is when the hill takes effect, and you get the how he gets like after heals after the ultimate, then you get the first after heal, hopefully as the third bomb hits him. Okay, so that's the strategy as far as the heal. Okay, so we're back here. The next one is going to come now at 51 seconds. Boom, boom. You have to hold. Boom, heal. Okay, this is when you're going to heal if you're using a Maserati or if you're doing a Miranda shield. Okay, then again, so there's more to keep track of, but it is possible to do it that way. Okay, but it is difficult. You definitely need to make sure summons are on the field for if he gets off this next boom 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 at 20 some seconds, because that one bombs Valley. A little Spanish for you. That one bombs, but yeah, that one hurts. So again, boom boom boom, heal at the same time or 0.25 seconds after. Okay, if you do this, you should be able to hopefully keep Jackson alive. He's easier to keep alive, not only because of the amount of summons he has, but also because he is hit point based versus attack based. If your Ampu is A5 or higher, you'll need to take off your ultimate, not use it most likely, and maybe you will even have to like change him out to DR boots or something like that if he's an absolute monster, right? In this case, you're not trying to make Ampu destroy everything like in other parts of the game. You're trying to be measured, all right? Bump up your Jaxity, control your Ampu, and control your positioning. That's so important in this fight. Make sure you use the right prototypes, get them up, and hopefully with a little RNG, you're going to be able to clear this just fine. Your Purin, by the way, you want your support also to have a good build for survivability, for when those times come when they are nuked. Okay, so keep that in mind. Also, what this expedition is teaching me in Crimson Abyss 24 is the fact that I need to make a temper set for my support heroes, Purin particularly. So that's going to do it for me. I hope this makes your exotic expedition experience a little less frustrating, at least when it comes to Mr. Turbine here. Okay, and that's going to do it for me. Until next time. Oh, yeah, make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing. All of this, ja, ja, ja. Okay, until next time, my friends. Ciao for now.